3, 2, 1, boom. Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 8 of the Pale Blue Dot podcast. We had a different format today. Obviously Grant isn't with us, and neither is Andrew, because apparently, I know, right? Hanging out with family over Christmas break.
Who does that?
Who doesn't? What the hell? We're doing a little bit of a different format today. It's going to be super fun. If you can't already tell, there's a shitload of energy going in here. And that's because today's guest, Crystal Smith, might be the most energetic person that I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah!
And contrary to appearances, I'm not a douchebag. We just decided to wear hats.
He might be.
And Crystal is wearing reindeer antlers.
So this is, people are going to see this?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you're kind of like coming out of the frame a little bit.
I'm coming down.
But yeah, so Crystal, I asked to jump on the show actually because we do yoga together at our Bikram studio. And it's always funny to watch her because if you're in a Bikram class, 90% of the time, you look like you're going to die. But Crystal never looks like she's going to die. She's always smiling.
I am.
Always. You are always, literally always smiling. It's now she's acting like it's a crime. But you're always smiling, and I think that your energy and your craziness is awesome and unique. And so I wanted to give a chance for people to get to know you, the crazy you of Rotel and the Hot Tomatoes, and being an Arbonne consultant, and teaching yoga to children, and all the other cool stuff you do. So Crystal Smith, boom, she's a reindeer.
That I am.
So I obviously have like an impression of who you are from seeing you at yoga, watching some of your shows, reading your hilarious Facebook posts, stuff like that. How would you describe yourself if you were in an elevator and someone was like, Crystal Smith, you need to describe yourself right now or I'm going to kill a penguin?
Oh my God, don't kill a penguin.
How would you describe yourself?
Is there like a word limit, a number of
No
words?
word limits.
Okay.
I'll just throw this puzzle at you if you go too long.
I just really enjoy life.
Hey, it's worth enjoying.
Describe myself. No one ever asks that. That's
Yeah,
very
like
broad.
what do you get passionate about? Like what are the things you're excited about? What do you do for a job? Anything.
What do I do for a job?
Yeah, all
I
those
have
things.
5 jobs. But I
Don't we all?
Yeah, in Austin, yes. But I like pretty much all of them. The one I'm trying to like, I guess rid myself of, that sounds weird, is the waiting tables thing, which I've been doing.
What all do you do? So you wait tables.
Okay, so I wait tables at this, and it's not a bad place to work. I just like don't want to wait tables anymore. Especially the more I do all the other things, which I will describe. The things that like actually call me and like pull me, like the less I like want to spend energy doing that, because it takes a lot of energy to wait on people.
It's exhausting.
and not be aware of yourself.
Yeah.
But I teach aerial yoga at the Little Yoga House, which is what I did this morning before coming here.
She said Ariel like the Little Mermaid, actually. So I'm assuming that's all.
There is a mermaid pose in aerial.
Hey.
So that's a thing. And I teach music and voice. I teach like a toddler music class at Lone Star School of Music, and I also do voice and piano lessons there. And then that's 3, right?
You're like a makeup consultant too, right?
It's not just makeup. So I have a health and wellness business through Arbonne International, which there's so much that goes into describing what this is, but it's network marketing, which like scares a lot of people. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Pyramid scheme, run away.
But it's not a pyramid scheme. It's just like, I just recommend things to people, and all of the products are like gluten-free and vegan, and there's no parabens or phthalates. And it's just, like, the company itself has been around for 36 years. So it's not like a startup. Like, there's been years of like research and development that have gone into like creating the products. And I use a lot of them. So anytime I hear someone who's like, I don't eat gluten, I can't eat this or that, or like I've been thinking about, like yesterday, my roommate who doesn't eat gluten or dairy was like, I think something's wrong because my skin is breaking out. I was like, let me show you all the things I have. And then we had like this really cool conversation. I showed her a lot of stuff, and she's like, this is amazing. And so I basically just do that. Like, if I hear that, I just listen to people talk about like issues that they're having with their skin or their body, and then I recommend things to them that I sell through Arbonne.
Do they give you like a pink Cadillac if you sell a lot, like Mary Kay?
White Mercedes.
Is it actually a white Mercedes? It's like a real thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like and there's a lot, like I have
Step
like
up,
this whole,
man.
there's like
Cadillac.
this whole presentation I give to people, and I don't know if I'll like give all of that today, but like I'll touch on.
Sure. You can do whatever you want.
I know, I'm wearing a ranger.
We're gonna put makeup on me on a show.
I didn't bring.
Perfect.
Well, I brought lip gloss.
So when I was like, oh God, this had been like 7 years ago. I have like really long eyelashes.
Do you?
So my girlfriend at the time decided she was going to put mascara on me, and I have these pictures somewhere. It's ridiculous. Like I look like the craziest drag queen of all time because my eyelashes are like double the length of normal people's normally.
Are they?
And they
I'm
were
so
like
jealous.
They were like here, like it was like owl eyes.
People will pay for your eyelashes. I have owls on my shirt.
You do have owls on your shirt. Look at that. Look at this
Cute.
Full circle.
And then there's Arbonne. That was for restaurant. Yoga,
singing,
music.
Rotel.
Yes. So
Okay.
and then I sing in bands. My main band right now being Rotel and the Hot Tomatoes, which is really cool.
Which is awesome. So I looked up Rotel videos the other day because I didn't actually know what they were other than
Right.
posting pictures of them.
Right.
It's the craziest thing in the world, right? So like I've seen tell everybody what Rotel actually is because I think it's awesome.
So I guess Rotel, and these are just things I've learned since joining the band earlier this year. But they started at Esther's Follies, which is like a comedy club show
on 6th Street,
downtown,
right?
yeah, on 6th Street, and it was just like skits.
Yeah.
Like these girls doing skits. And then I guess throughout time, like they started like wearing different colored wigs and then like performing songs. And I guess it was mostly like 50s and 60s stuff back then. And it's kind of just grown. Like the drummer of the band, James Cruz, he's like the head. Like he books us and he like hires the singers and whatnot. But God, there's so much in Rotel. When I joined, when I first met him, I'd just been leaving like the cover band company that I'd worked for like a little over 2 years. And it like I left that because I was it was track bands, so we'd like it's basically like doing karaoke, like playing instruments over tracks, which I mean was really fun and awesome.
Until the track gets screwed up. And
and like that would happen sometimes, but we were in Dallas and Houston like every weekend, and I'd get home at like 7 a.m. on Sundays, and you'd just be out.
Way too long to drive.
And I did that like every weekend for 2 years, and I just got drained and tired of doing that. And so I decided to leave the band I was in, and the week after I left, the week after I gave my notice, I filled in with another band in the company called the Space Rockers. And they do like top 40 music, but they wear spacesuits. And they I went with them to a casino in Louisiana because they'd played at this casino before, but the casino really wanted to have like a female singer because this group is like all dudes. All dudes. And so I went with them, and I had like the time of my life. Like I had so much fun. And I think part of that was because the band I was in, we just had like a lot of, what's it called?
Chemistry?
No.
Anger?
The anger. No, it wasn't. It was just like there were a lot of new people. Turnover. There was a lot of turnover. Okay. And so I was always like, I was kind of the band leader at this point, and it was like everyone was new. And there was nothing wrong with that. But on top of just being drained of like my energy, it was just hard to be like, okay, can you do this on this song? And just like trying to delegate. So you're working in bars and clubs. I'm just like, I was just tired.
Yeah. It's an exhausting lifestyle for sure.
But then like going with the Space Rockers, and they already had like everything, like they knew what they were doing. And so just like jumping into something that was already established and just kind of being able to like be more easygoing with it. Like I had so much fun. And I realized like, I don't want to stop performing. I just don't want to do it like every Friday and Saturday. So
at like till 2 a.m. probably.
And then driving back to Austin, like from Dallas, which is 3 or 4 hour drive. And you stop to get gas and whatnot. But so then I started just looking at Craigslist music. Maybe I could do like an original band, which is something I like also haven't really done. I did it when I was in San Francisco for a little bit, but there were like that didn't end well for me, just because I was like the youngest person in the band. It was a 10-piece band, and like everyone else had all these ideas of what it was supposed to sound like and what like the ideas I would bring to like writing. So I just like kind of gave up on writing original stuff and focused on cover bands, which is awesome. Anyways, that was a tangent, but
love tangents.
I found Rotel was looking for a singer, and I responded, and I was actually at the yoga studio where I practiced. I went to like a 9:30 class on a Friday, and I checked my phone after getting out of class, and like I'd sent this email at like 11 p.m. the night before, and so like 12 hours later, they're like, crazy. So I saw like your videos of like you performing, and like we need someone like really soon, and we kind of have someone, but I'd like to meet with you. So I met with James, and he just explained like what the band was, and he was like, we're looking for a redhead, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Like my hair is brown. And like in Rotel, there's 3 female singers. Did you
tell him your hair was brown, or
no? I mean, I met with him like
at
a Starbucks.
Okay.
So like he knew that I physically was not a redhead. And like the whole premise of the band now is there's 3 female singers, and there's a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead. And like each. Why is
that, like for a reason, or?
It's just for show. Yeah. I mean, if you ever do get a chance to see the show, it's like I went to see them before I joined, like just to like see what I was getting myself into, and I was like, oh my god, I have so much work to do. Like there's
you're like choreographed.
There's choreography. There's no tracks, which I like. Like it's a full band. We have a horn section and keys.
Oh, so it's always a full band.
Yeah, it's always a full band. And which I like, and like I mean, sometimes it gets messy. Like sometimes like people start at different times, but it's like it's so well. The span has been around for 30 years.
Yeah.
And we usually do 3 sets in a show. The first set's always Motown, and we have like a 60s bob wig, like a beehive-y type thing, and we do like Stevie Wonder and like the Supremes and stuff like that in that set. And the second set's disco, and we get to wear afros.
Nice.
I love the second set. Disco.
You just like change and come back in an afro?
Yeah, so we need like at least a 20 to 30 minute break to change hair and costume.
Whoa, so these are some intense costumes.
It's costume. It's like it's a show. It's a show band. Like that's the best way to describe it. Is like it's literally like and it's like learning. I mean, I've never been in a musical, but it's like because each wig has a role. Each wig has like lead songs that they do.
Okay.
And then like they also have specific backing vocals that they do or harmonies. So it's like there is a girl in the band who's been in it for 8 years, and she started as the blonde, like got pregnant and left for a while and came back as like the brunette. So she knows 2 of the roles. And then the last set is 80s / top 40. So it's the last it's like the closest thing to what I've like been used to doing.
Like current top 40s?
Yes, like, current. It's like 80s and current top 40 stuff.
So you like sing like a lot of Big Sean songs and kind of.
No, I mean we do This Is How We Do It, and which isn't really current, but it's
NSYNC never dies. So
NSYNC, we don't do any NSYNC.
Is that Backstreet Boys? Who is that?
No, that's Montel Jordan. It's not a boy band.
Apparently, I only know boy bands.
Well, you are wearing the fedora.
I'm wearing a fedora. My Jason Mraz. So like when I got this fedora actually a couple of years ago, I bought it semi-ironically actually and semi-seriously, and
Isn't it ironic?
It was meant to be a beach hat, like if I was hanging out in Chicago. And I showed this vision of like Jason Mraz from his original album where he's had like the pin that said "I heart boobs." And he's like, I'm curbside prophet with my hand in my pocket. And that was my vision. So every time I put this on now, I think of Jason Mraz for some reason.
That's weird.
It is extremely weird.
It's like snakes.
What snakes? How so?
It looks like a snake. I don't know.
It does kind of like snake scales.
Yes.
I can see that. But yeah, so when I watched your videos initially, like it totally made sense why you were in Rotel, because the energy that they have is exactly like commensurate and potentially even less than the energy that I see from you like all the time. So
yeah, it was. I was really overwhelmed when I joined. Like I was really excited because I knew it was like and they only do like 3 or 4 gigs a month, which is like exactly what I wanted. Like I didn't want to do it every Friday and Saturday. I wanted to have my weekends back, but I didn't want to stop performing. And it was also like, it allowed me to grow as like having to not sing to tracks and having to actually learn like backing vocals and choreography. And I mean, it's different in a way. Like I had to buy pantyhose. I mean, what is that?
I've never worn pantyhose.
And then just like having to buy like specific things for it. I mean, they provided like the costumes and the wigs, but there were certain things that I had to get. And it was like, I have to wear glitter. Like what?
Oh no.
And like I was honestly like I left that band, and then like I was like going through a really hard time in like my personal life. Like I was like getting out of a relationship that wasn't good, and like I mean it wasn't good for me anymore.
Sure.
And so like when that was happening, and like I was really like in realization of that needing to happen like the week before my first show. And so like having to like learn all of these songs and backing vocals and choreography, and my head was just not in the right place to do that. But with this band, they're like, we need you for the show. Like we'll make it work. Like whatever you have learned, we're going to make it work. And like, that's something that really surprised me. Because I think if I'd like joined the company, like the track company I'd worked with, which is awesome. And like, I love everyone in that company, and I'm really grateful for like how much it's allowed me to grow and be able to do this and like prepare me for this in a way. But I think if I'd been like, hey, like, I'm not really stable right now. Can we like postpone this? Or do you have like another singer that can do this? I think they would be like, okay, bye.
Oh, so you
and
kind
like,
of
and so I like kind of expected them to like fire me because I like was not prepared at all. But everyone was just so patient and like, you know, willing to help me. And that was just that was like a pleasant surprise. It was something that I was just not prepared for. Just not. I wasn't prepared. Period. And then I also just wasn't prepared for like how kind everyone was. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. That's one of the things I've noticed about like communities in general in Austin. It's actually why I moved here, because like everybody here is so embracing and welcoming.
They
like,
are.
Like, you're screwed up. Great. We are too. Come hang out at our barbecue. Like one of our mutual friends has a pool in her house, and over the summer, like we were all hanging out there, just being like our degenerate selves, and we decided that her house was called the Island of Misfit Toys, because that's basically like that's Austin, right? Like the island of broken people figuring shit out.
And yeah, everyone is like, that's the reason I moved here, because I moved here, I like came and visited when I was like living in San Francisco. Yeah. And I was just like, I've got to go somewhere warm, because San Francisco summers are like 58 degrees, which is colder than it is here right now.
But it's always 58 degrees.
It's like that's the average temperature. Sometimes it'll go up to like 65 in the summer, and that's like, woo, everyone's sweating. I'm like, no, this is not right. But I had like a week off from the daycare I worked at, and I was like, I want to go somewhere I don't know anyone, because I hate everyone here, and I want to go somewhere warm. And I'd heard Austin was cool, so I like did a couch surfing thing. I hung out with like these two like 20-year-old boys who were in town to like do this internship, and they were like had to work so I like bought them a 6-pack of beer and just like explored, and I just like fell in love with like how awesome everyone was. Yeah, Austin's the shit.
It is the shit, for sure. I didn't even have a job when I came down here. I was just like, well, I'll find something. And couch surfing, I think it's probably like 20% of the population in Austin. Yeah. Like legitimately. It's crazy. Yeah. No one has jobs here. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah. No one has jobs.
No one, well, so like normal jobs. Right. So I was at a party the other day. It was like 3 p.m. on like a Wednesday. It's like, does no one here, like, does anyone have a real job? Like, what do you do?
Right. No, it's true. And I love that too. Like, I think about this all the time lately. Like, I'm just so grateful. Like, I have, be careful there.
Knock over my wine bottle collection behind me.
I have 5 jobs, 4 of which are like things I'd never thought I'd be doing. Yeah. They're like I sing and I get to wear a wig and sing disco. Like, I get to teach kids aerial yoga. Like, all this blows my mind. And that was not my plan. I was going to go to grad school and then like teach music in like an elementary school. Like, that was the plan when I moved, and that's not what happened. And thank God, because I don't really want to do that.
Yeah, I can't imagine you sitting still for long enough to be in grad school.
And like I did it, but I
just
also
doing jumping
did
jacks in the back of the lecture hall.
Grad school was weird. I went to UT, so I can say I did that.
Oh, you did for
I
undergrad?
did for a semester.
Yeah.
No, for 1 semester of grad school.
What'd you study?
I studied music education.
Okay.
But it just like it wasn't, and I was gigging and I was also waiting tables. So it was like I was working 2 jobs and doing grad school, and it just wasn't
It's a lot.
the right timing. But I also just like when I was there, I like didn't feel the pull
Sure.
that I thought I would.
Yeah.
And like, but I used like getting into UT as like an excuse or reason to move here, because I was like, okay, because I wanted to do it. I just like wanted a reason, and then so it was like I applied to UT. That's the only grad school I applied to, and I got it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go.
So why'd you leave then? You just decided too much, or
why did I leave grad school?
Yeah.
It was expensive.
Mhm.
Like I actually moved here and worked so I could do like Texas resident tuition versus out of state.
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah,
it's like 40% off the total tuition cost.
It's still thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but it's still for law school, it's $20,000 a year less expensive, which is insane.
But it still costs thousands.
$35,000.
Yeah. So it's expensive, and I just like the week after I started, I got offered a job teaching private lessons, which is like what I really want to do.
Sure.
And I'm doing that now, and there's like, why am I paying
private music lessons?
Yes. Yeah. Tens of thousands of dollars to like do the thing I'm already doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I finished a semester, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And I also, part of that too was like I was gigging every weekend, and like I wanted to keep doing that because I do feel that there's like an expiration date on being able to gig that much, and just like, you know, saying like, oh, there's this gig in like South Padre Island, I'm gonna go do that for a week, or like
it's in Cleveland, Ohio.
I mean, that happens too, but
ride my bike out there.
Yeah. Or like going to Key West, like being able to just like drop everything and be like, I'm gonna go do this for a week, and like I'm not going to be able to have that freedom forever. And so I want to do that right now. And so that's what I did / do still, kind of.
Was that like we're doing, what is this, Sphinx pose we're going to go?
No. Yeah, or eagle.
Eagle pose. Should we just stand like this for the rest of the show?
No.
It's going to start hurting.
Reindeer.
So when you left school, was that like, was that hard? Like, was it something your family was supportive of, or was it like
I think
easy
it was
decision?
Something, honestly, like I was kind of ashamed because I knew it was like this whole thing. Like I moved here to do this, and no, I'm not. But it's not like I'm doing nothing. I didn't just drop off and like sit on my couch. I was like still doing all these other things. Yeah. But I guess I get scared a lot of like what other people will think, which is really stupid because
it's just funny because you're wearing an owl top and
right.
and dancing.
But I'm weird about that stuff though. Like I do worry, and I know that I shouldn't, because I'm also like, I know that people like are not as judgmental as I think they are. And I think maybe I just like push off what I think other people like. I just like see myself through my own eyes and like put that on other people. And then like there's times I'm just like, I'm not really proud of that, but that's what happened. And so now I have to tell people that that's what happened. So sometimes I like shy away from like telling people that. Like I remember the woman that I nannied for in San Francisco. I like went and saw her after I like quit grad school.
So did you come to Austin from San Francisco?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And like I went and saw her after like doing the grad school thing, and then deciding it wasn't for me because she knew I was going like to do it. And she asked about it and like what classes I was taking. I was like, well, I'm going to take this and that, even though I like was not enrolled in school because I just like wasn't ready to tell her. But it was such a silly thing. It's like, why wouldn't I be honest with this person who was so supportive of like who I was?
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Like I do that all the time. I don't know what causes that. It's like reindeer antlers say yes.
Totally.
It's the weirdest thing though, right? Because like you said, people don't judge as much, but like it's not even just that. Like people don't notice as much as we think they do.
People like don't. People are so like involved in their own lives. Like I don't think people actually have time to give a shit about like.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like if you're sitting there thinking, "Oh, is this person judging me?" They're probably sitting there thinking the same thing.
And it's like
no
even
one's
if
thinking
they
about the
do,
other
it's
person.
like, who cares?
Right. Exactly. Which is so that mentality though, like have you always thought like that? Because that if I was to say in one sentence like who Crystal is, super energetic, does her own thing, doesn't give a shit what anybody else thinks. Like you're the hippie flower love child makeup artist, teacher /
I'm not a
yogi
makeup
instructor.
artist. I don't know how to put makeup on people.
I don't know how to put makeup on people either. I don't even know how to put makeup on myself.
Except mascara.
Mascara. Edit that one out. But like, have you always like felt like this, where you've been like, oh, screw it, like I can just deal with this, or is that something that happened like around that same time?
I mean, have I always been like, I don't know. I think there's certain things that I don't care about, and then there's things that I do. Like the Arbonne consultant thing. That's taken me some time to be used to, like saying like, I sell things, will you buy them from me? I mean, that's not like what I say, but it's something that I feel like it comes off as.
Yeah. No, it's hard not to.
Right. And so like that's something that but it's like I use the products and I like them, so why wouldn't I tell people about that?
Yeah.
And I think that's the newest thing that I'm doing, that I'm like, I have fear of judgment for.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's nothing like sales like boost your self-confidence, right?
Right.
So I think it was Tim Ferriss that talks about that, like the ways to get out of your comfort zone. He talks about going to a mall and just like asking random people for their phone number. He's like, find 3 people a day, walk up to them, ask for their phone number. And sales is pretty much the same thing, right?
Right. Except you need their like credit card.
Well, you can do that. Go to the mall and ask people for their credit card number. I don't know how much longer they'd allow you in that mall.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess as far as like having been this way, there's some things, I don't know. I also like, I talked about this when I like went to visit my uncle last month, because I like for Thanksgiving, tangent, but not, I think it relates. But like the grade school I was in, I went to like private school from like 2nd grade through college. Like I went to a private college with
small
nuns.
Private school, with nuns, with actual nuns.
With nuns. But my grades, I went to a K-8 school, and they were so focused on like community and family. And like we had to do all these stupid group projects, and they seemed so dumb. But I like look back at it now, and it was just the coolest thing, because when I try to tell people about it, they're like, your school was weird. I'm like, yeah. and it was awesome, because look at me now. But I remember in 7th grade, we were learning about like Japan. So we were learning about culture, and we were learning about like the Japanese tea ceremony. And so we were put into these groups.
And a bunch of nuns were teaching you about Japanese tea ceremony.
There were not nuns that taught at this school. There were nuns that taught in my college. So my grade school was like normal teachers.
Non-nuns.
Non-nuns.
They weren't nuns, they were sums. Oh.
But each group had to come up with like their own ceremony. And so like the group I was in, we did like we like made up a ceremony for water, and it was like we all put flowers on our head, and like we had to like perform it for the class, and like we all had like a cup of water, and we were like, okay, H2O, and someone's like flower fell off his head and into his cup, and I was like, it was the funniest thing. I was 12 years old, but it's just like, it was like, and it seemed so dumb at that time, but they allowed us like so much creativity.
That's cool.
There. Yeah, it was really cool. And it was a private Catholic school. And I feel like when people think of, the immediate image of private Catholic school, you think like rulers and like,
how do you solve a problem?
We did
like
have
Maria?
Uniforms, but it was like the assignments they gave us, they were so cool. And like in our music class, we had to like take a song and like change the words to it to like change the message, and like we had to come up with choreography to it. I loved music class. Yeah, no, that was my jam. But
literally,
it just like, so I think I did get a lot of that like early on, like the freedom to express like whatever was happening, like through music and like through like communicating with people. And then, I think myself and like with anyone, it's kind of just been like, sometimes I feel really like self-conscious, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm the shit. Like, this is cool. Like, I got this. And, it's just like, depending on like where I'm at in the day and whatever I'm doing, like if I'm actually proud of what I'm doing. And sometimes I have to like step back and think about that. Like, okay, do I actually like doing this anymore? Or do I not? Because some things you can start, like the cover band with the tracks, I loved doing that for a long time. I really did. And then I like over time gradually like didn't want to do it anymore, because it like I didn't feel the pull, and I didn't feel,
wasn't enough of a challenge.
Right. And just like, don't know. Rotel has challenged me a lot for sure, but it's like I just feel like I've grown a lot being able to do it.
Were your parents into music? I mean, I can't imagine, or were they like kind of like artists? Or because I can't imagine like sending someone to that free flowing of a Catholic school.
No, my parents are divorced.
Okay.
They divorced when I was 6. My dad is a truck driver.
Awesome.
And
like
not
half my family are truck drivers.
Not musically inclined. Like he played flute in like college or high school, and I actually played his flute. Like I took flute lessons when I was like in 4th and 5th grade, but that's when I was in 4th and 5th grade. So
did you play the Yaz flute like Ron Burgundy? Was it an oboe that I was doing?
That's a clarinet or an oboe. This is flute.
I like that we're analyzing my fake instruments. Obviously, that's not a flute.
So that's like the only like musical inclination that my dad had. Like,
was your mom super artistic then, or?
No, my mom owns a care home for the elderly, and she is like a nurse, and neither of my parents sleep very much, and I don't really sleep either. And they're both very hardworking.
Yeah.
And I love that. And they've both like always been super supportive of how, I guess, free spirited is how a lot of people describe me. Like when I was like, hey guys,
it's a good description.
I'm gonna go, like when I went to undergrad, my mom wanted me to do, what's the thing with medicine?
Nursing?
Nursing, but also where you actually prescriptions.
Oh, pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
Yeah.
She wanted me to go to pharmacy school. And we went and like looked at a pharmacy school, and I was just like, I don't like it here. Like I didn't feel like I looked at the program and how long it would take, and just like what, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
Like too small a box for a crystal.
Yeah. And then my dad's always been supportive though. My dad's an odd character. But I'm odd too, but
what a surprise.
But I mean we're very different, but my parents are really cool. I mean, they're divorced, and I always tell people this too. Like now that I've had time to like look back, because I think a lot of that too early on, I was very sad about my parents divorcing. And like it took me a long time to like get over it, or like come to terms with like that they weren't going to be together. And they never put me in the middle. Though, like they were never like your mom's a piece of shit or your dad's a piece of shit, which is like the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, it's also hard not to, I'm sure.
Right, I would imagine. And like I'm sure there are things that I like don't know about like what happened between them, but like looking back now, it's just like they don't make sense together at all. Like they really don't. But my dad has like said to me like, you could be a rock star, or you could be a pharmacist, or you could be like, the centerfold in Playboy magazine, and I'd still be proud of you. Like, which is cool and also a little bit creepy.
Those were your only 3 options.
No, I mean those are just like the extremes of like what I could do.
It's like, listen, Crystal, we got 3 paths for you. You can either do drugs, make drugs, or be around drugs all the time.
Wow, yeah,
right?
That's what it was.
So was your dad Filipino?
No, he's white. My last name is Smith.
God, well, good point.
Yeah.
Could have been like an adopted last name. So your mom's Filipino.
Yes.
So it's so funny that she was a nurse, you said, right?
She is a nurse.
So I don't know that I've ever met a Filipino woman who's not a nurse or related to a nurse.
Yeah.
So like, why does that happen? It's like the weirdest stereotype.
What we do. I mean, it's a stable job with good income, and like, I think a lot of, I don't want to paint this picture completely, but a lot of people who like come to America from the Philippines are looking for stability.
Makes sense.
And, money to support their family. Like that's all that anyone wants to do, and that's just like, then they always like, most of the Filipinos I know, and like, I mean, in my family, like it's huge. Like my mom has like 9 brothers and sisters. And so it's like being able to provide, like that's part of the culture.
So really what it is they're actually paying attention to the economy and saying, where are jobs needed? Where can I make good money? And all the rest of us are like, what? I don't know, whatever. Exactly.
There are some Filipinos in Austin, but like, I don't know if they're like me.
So were you born in the Philippines, or were you born in?
No, I was born in California.
Okay.
California.
Gotcha.
California.
And
here we come.
Here we go.
Except we're not, because we're in Texas.
Wait, so were you like, was your parent, or sorry, was your mom first generation? Like, was she born here?
Yeah,
Or
she
born in the
like came
Philippines?
here. She like went across the border from Mexico, and actually like
Wait, so she was in Mexico?
she had to like travel and then was in Mexico and had to
Really?
like, sneak across the border and stuff. We had this conversation when
That's
I was
awesome.
like 16 because I had to do like an immigrant paper on
Yeah.
like someone. And I was like, Mom, you're an immigrant. Let me ask you questions. And I had never done it. I had to do it for class.
Yeah.
It's like I learned so much.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was cool. My mom's a badass.
She'd have to be. Yeah, it's amazing.
She is. Like both my parents are like so cool. And just they're so supportive of me. And like that's I feel like especially I mean, not that this is true of like everyone who's free spirited.
Yeah.
But it's like they've both just been really supportive of like every time I'm like, I think I'm gonna be a yoga teacher now. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
go do it.
Yeah.
And like, and they've both seen like how I don't know, Austin was just a really cool place to move to because there were all these things here. And I didn't even realize that. Like it's like I moved here and then I found out that like the little yoga house existed. And like yoga for kids, hell yeah, I want to do that. And then like I didn't even realize that cover bands were a whole industry.
Oh yeah, especially down here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And so like when I discovered that, I was like, I have to do that. Like that's what I want to do. And then here I am. Here I am.
So, rock me like a hurricane. It's the second time this song has come out.
I know.
So we're like all those different things you do, right? So makeup consultants, cover bands, multiple cover bands, yoga instructor, and voice teacher. And what was the other one? I feel like I'm missing one.
I wait tables.
Wait
That's the thing I'm
tables.
trying to let go of.
Gotcha.
Because it feels heavy.
Feels heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. Like, are all of those things you working towards something you know you want to do, or are all those things just like you becoming who you want to be? Like you need all those things together to be who you want to be.
I mean, they're all things that I've like, oh, that's a good question. I haven't thought about that. Like, they're all things, I mean, I have this thing now that I've like been thinking about. It's like, you don't realize you want something until you know that it exists. And so I didn't cover bands and kids yoga. Like, I didn't know those were things that paid.
It's crazy.
Or that they were even jobs, and even if they paid a little bit, like I probably still would have like done them. But that's something that I feel a pull towards. And I mean, and then there are things that I've like let go of, like the track band I was playing with that I like loved doing, and like I had felt a pull towards, and I loved doing it until I didn't. And then it was like deciding how and when to let go of that, because I was also like, I mean, when I did, I was just like, I'm not going to perform. What do I do? And of course I was doing other things, but it's like, I love performing. Like it's so fun, and like it's.
She says she gestures
right, like it's like what I do, even when I'm like not on stage. I'm all just like flaring my hands up at people. But I think there's this transformation speaker named Kyle Cease. I don't know if you've heard of him, but kind of along the lines of like Tony Robbins and just like, you know, finding out what you're passionate about.
Sure.
Like, but I like went to one of his events because of my current boyfriend, who is amazing. He like told me about Kyle Cease and introduced me to him. And I started watching videos, and I went to like one of his like live events. And something that he says is like, and I've like been referencing this as we've spoken, like letting go of the heavy and like moving towards light. And so you always want to be like if you don't feel a pull towards something, like
why waste your time on it?
Like let go of it. And it's all like something else is, you always see what you're going to lose. Like when I left the track, I was like, okay, I'm going to lose like the amount of money I made doing it, and like how I filled my time doing it. And the fact that I did get to be on stage, and I love being on stage and doing the thing. But it like, once I like let go of that, it allowed me to like find Rotel and then also have like weekends again. And so you never see what you're going to gain. You also are going to, because it's part of like the story you have where you're like, I've done this and I've been doing this for so long that it's like a part of me. But it's like, if you don't feel like you want to do it anymore, like don't do it. Because of course you're like being called to something else. You're like, you have this desire towards something, but you don't know what it is yet. And so like,
but how can you find out if you have no time or energy?
Right. And so it's like letting go of those things and like having that like allow me, and there's definitely been times where like when I got hired at the little yoga house to start doing aerial, I was like in training. And then of course, like a day after, they were like, okay, we're going to put you here, here, and here for training. Like I got called to do like some gigs like during the week that would have paid more and that I like really wanted to do because it was with the space rockers and I love them.
Which, by the way, do you have pictures of that? Because that sounds legit.
I do. They're amazing, and they're just like such a fun group of guys, and like they're tight, and they're, I don't know, I think very highly of them, as you can tell.
You wore spacesuits, so I can't. They wouldn't even have to sing.
Granted, the gigs I did with them, they were at like upscale places, so I never got to wear like a spacesuit. It was always like formal wear, which is kind of a bummer.
Did you wear a helmet still? There was like tux and a helmet.
No, we just wore like a little black dress.
Do you like that I assumed that female formal wear was a tux?
I'm like cape.
I don't know. A karate gi. I don't know what you wear. I don't know what formal is. Look at me. No, let you say that.
But yeah, letting
go of what's heavy.
Yeah, letting go of what's heavy, and then just allowing, like, even if you don't have the thing that you feel pulled towards, like, you know that like you don't want to do this thing anymore, and it feels like you're just like dragging it. Yes. And so like let go of that. And then the thing that you're supposed to be doing will come, and it's like up to you to take that.
Creating space so that it can.
Creating space. Yes.
I like that. So doing all the things that you're doing right now, do you feel like that's fulfilling that need that you have? It's like who you are. It's something where you're able to channel your energies and your passions, or is there somewhere else that like you want to get to from these things?
There is. So one of the reasons, and like this has changed like over time, but like one of the reasons I started doing an Arbonne business is like, yes, to let go of like waiting tables, but it's also like realizing like what like an Arbonne consultant does. It's just like help other people. And I'm also like realizing this too, like, because I really started teaching a lot like in the past year, like doing yoga for kids and like voice lessons and music, and like all of that is just like connecting to yourself, to your body, because singing is posture and breathing, and so is yoga. And like, that's all the same thing. And then also like finding out that like Arbonne has like a healthy living program. It's like helping people like feel good. And like, not everyone realizes that they don't feel good until they like,
it's like getting glasses, right? Like when you're like, oh wow, there's leaves on trees.
Yeah. And like before going to like before like having like a regular yoga practice, it's like not even like, now when I don't do yoga, I like don't feel good.
Yeah.
Like
it's a thing.
Yeah. If I go for like more than 2 days, and even just like a day, it's like, my back feels this way in my neck, and like I need to like stretch everything out. But I was answering a question.
So do you like of those things that you do, like is there one that you're more passionate about, like something you wish you could spend all of your time doing, or is it like all kind of a mix that's making you who you want to be right now?
So I love all of the things that I do, except for waiting tables. But I don't mind waiting tables. I also feel like that's not what you should feel about a job. I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, but like that's what, if you have a job that's not something that like you're passionate about, right? It's just something that pays the bills. Like I think it's a normal way to feel about it.
Right.
So you don't want to starve to death.
Yeah. But something ideally. I do, I mean, okay. Something I do want to do, like, eventually when I'm able to afford it, is like I want to have like wherever I am, because I might not be, I love Austin and I feel like I'm gonna be here for a long time, but if I ever like move away from it, like I want like an in-home like aerial studio, like something that I can just run from like where I live and not have to commute to work, and like also offer whenever I want to.
So you can just be on your own schedule.
And then that, and just like I want to learn more about like yoga for families. Like there's this program, and this is also like why I started doing it, because there's this program this summer, or I guess next summer, because it's 2016 still. There's this teacher training. Last year it was in Italy. This next summer is going to be in Australia. I think it moves around each year, and they only offer it once a year.
Bummer places to visit for sure.
Right?
They're in Australia. Well, terrible.
I think it's by Karma Kids or Rainbow Kids. I can't remember exactly, but it's a teacher training helping people like connect. So they offer everything. They teach you everything from like prenatal to elderly, but a lot of it's like community based. Like, here's how you can use yoga to make your relationship stronger. Like how to like help mommy and baby like feel closer, like help mommy and daddy feel closer, just help people like use their bodies and their breath to like be in tune with them, not just themselves, because that's what like that's why a lot of people practice yoga. It's like, you know, find my breath and like get in my body and feel like I'm at home in it. But it's like helping you connect to other people. Yeah. And like I want to go to that training and then like use that and kind of like I mean I made that noise just because I like don't see that in the near future, but I definitely want to like be able to like travel and like do like offer workshops like in cities and being able to offer that to people. Like,
so like you would like that to be like your main profession?
I guess so, but I like singing.
Yeah, no, it's
so
fun.
there's a lot of things. Yeah. But I guess they would all like involve travel and just like using what I currently use as like a vehicle for that.
Yeah. How did you get interested in yoga in the first place? Because I always think it's interesting, like how people discover that. Because you talk about like getting in tune with yourself. You talk about getting connected to other people. For you, was it more like, I want to be in shape? Like I want to find my breath? Like what was it? I haven't breathed in 9 years. Whoa, yoga. Like how did you get into it?
Well, my first yoga class was probably at like 24-hour fitness. Yeah. Because I used to have a membership there.
Yep. So did I. I did the one right down the road, actually.
I mean, I was a member since I was like 12 years old.
Nice.
Like when I was like an early, a tween or whatever, like I had some, not like major, but like some eating disorder things happen. And so then I decided to be a vegetarian, but then of course I only ate candy because I was a teenager. So like really.
I struggle with diet, so I do something really hard. Like, good plan. It's great stuff we do when we're in high school.
But yeah, my mom like got me a membership to a gym, to 24-hour fitness, and I was a member there since I was 12 until I was like.
Did you ask her for it, or was she just like, you need to go to the gym?
No, she didn't say it, but I expressed interest in it. And so I would do that. I didn't do classes or anything. Like go and work out or whatever you do when you're like 13 and at the gym. I don't know. But
watch
then,
Justin
like,
Bieber videos and dance.
In college, like there was one summer where I suddenly like I decided to like start going to all the classes, like the weightlifting and like the kickboxing, and I got into a routine. Like it was really hard at first, but like over that summer when I was home, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to the gym. And then like, and I felt awesome, like, cause I was like mixing it up, cause I was like, just like interested in everything that they had to offer. Cause they had kickboxing, which I love, and they had weightlifting, which I hadn't done, but decided to like try out. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I can actually like lift this much, and blah, blah. And then they had yoga, and there was like this German guy who taught, he was like the only male like teacher there, but he taught yoga, of course. And like, I felt really good, like all the time. And so I just like kept doing that. And so like group classes were a thing. And then I think in like my last semester in college, there was a Bikram yoga studio in the town I was in. And so I tried it because they had like a 30-day like initial membership that was really cheap. So I didn't go for all of the 30 days, but I went for 4 weeks, like 2 to 3 times a week, and decided that was like the only thing I was going to do. And I
like immediately you did, you're like, this is awesome.
No, I didn't think it was awesome right away. Like I remember the first class I took, it was like Sunday at 10:30, which is when a lot of people go. And like, I just was like, what is happening? I remember leaving, and it took me like 10 minutes to walk to my car. That was like half.
Because you're just exhausted.
I felt like I'd been in a war, and I've like never been to war. But it took me like my hair was everywhere. I was sweat, and then I was like, okay, people do this for fun.
That was my experience the first time too. So like Mandy, our friend, told me to go to Bikram class, and I didn't even know it was hot. Like she didn't even tell me it was hot yoga. So I walked in and I was like, is something wrong? Like what's happening here?
Yeah.
And you finish it and you're like, my soul just left my body. Like what is happening? This is craziness.
Yeah.
So I totally feel you on that.
And so I think I went like 12 times over that month, but then like I was ending college, so it was just like one of those things where I was like, I had to finish the semester. I had to figure out what I was doing with the rest of my life because it was the last semester of college. And then so like I didn't do it again because I was in 2010, and then at the end of 2012, so 4 years ago, my friend, one of my best friends from back home, she like had a Groupon for a studio that was near my house, and she was like, "You should do it with me."
For another Bikram studio?
Yeah, for a different one. And so I like started going to that one, and then you know, I had done it before, even though it was like a few years before, but like it was 2 blocks from my house, and then something happened where this story. Something where I went through like another like weird personal relationship thing that like needed to end, and like I also just like I needed. Okay, so what happened was this is so weird to like say. I had like been secretly dating one of my band members for like 2 years. Secretly, which is stupid. I mean, they were like older guys, and they don't pick up on the things that are so clear. I think
sharks,
like,
sharks and jets style
I learned that this guy was like he had a girlfriend, and like I found out from one of my bandmates, and so like I found out because it was like pre-rehearsal. We were like grabbing drinks at a bar, and then someone was just like, "Yeah, blah blah blah's new girlfriend." And then like I felt like my heart like singing to myself. But also part of that was like I wasn't being honest about what I wanted. Like I was okay with it being a secret. But it was like 2 years. Like, who was okay with that? Like no, that's not weird. Yeah. But I was like, I was 23 or 24, and like it had started when I was like 21. So I didn't know what I was doing. But like when I found out, I was like, I realized like I wasn't like being honest with myself or with him, and like needed something to distract me, or like, and I was just like burying my head. I was like, what am I doing? Yeah. And that was also around the time where I was just like, and that's when I had gone to Austin a few months before. And I was like, I just want to like go somewhere where I like don't know. And you'd come. That was from San Francisco. This is in San Francisco. And so like I'd already started at the studio and then found this out, and then I just like started going every day, because I was like, that was the only time where I like wasn't thinking about it, because I was focused on like being in the room and like breathing. Because if you're not like present in the room, you're gonna like fall over or pass out, or just like, so that was like I used it to like help heal me from that. And it like, I don't know, I'm so grateful for like the Bikram practice, even though like a lot of people like it's kind of cultish. It's like, why do people want to do that to themselves? Yeah. But I mean, for the people that like it works for, like it really works. Like it helps everything. Well, that's what's attractive about cults anyway, though, right? Like it's doing something good for you. Like maybe there's crazy people involved that make you drink poison, but it's, like the rest of it makes you feel happy. But then you feel like you're part of a community or something. Thankfully, I've yet to be offered poison by anybody at our studio. Yeah. So. I got. Maybe you did. I don't know. But yeah, so it's interesting that you mentioned that, though, because I feel like there's so many people, specifically in Bikram, that find it because they're just like, I don't know who the hell I am. My life is chaotic right now. I'm going to do something with structure. Yeah, and it's so structured, and that is definitely something I like appreciate about it too. Yeah, and you know, like I love being spontaneous and being like, oh, do you really? Yeah, but like it's also like something that's just like super grounding for me. It's like I always know. Like, even though it's the same poses every time, like, it's not always the same experience. Like, I can be super tired or, like, really dehydrated and go in and like, oh, crap, this is hard. Even though I've done it, like, hundreds of times before. It's, like, it's still, like, a different mental experience every time you go in. But you always, like, you find that same place eventually. That's what's so fascinating to me about it. Like, so I've gotten, like, really into meditation lately, too. No matter where you're starting from, like, you're always trying to get to that baseline of, like, here's me, my breath, my heartbeat, whatever it is. And it's always like somewhere under the surface, like that true self. I've always found that fascinating about yoga. Did you like, so when you started this, how many years was it before you decided to start doing teaching? So, I mean, because you're not a Bikram instructor, right? I'm not. And I like, when I got into, like, when I really got into it, I was like practicing like almost every day. I was like, maybe I'll do like a teacher training. And then I found out how much it was. I'm like, that's expensive. And like the family training I want to do is less expensive. And like it is very structured, and like I'm not against doing it because maybe one day I'll be able to afford it.
Because you have a yoga teacher certification, right? Like in some
from the little yoga house, and then from yoga
in what?
So
in
it's
Ariel,
for the little yoga house. I have 2, but they're both for kids. So the little yoga house one, it was just 30 hours. I think they're both 30 hours, and that's just for kids and family yoga. So neither of them required like having like a 200-hour or 300-hour like
certification
base, and then the yoga putics one was for Ariel, designed for kids.
So how did that happen? Because Bikram's very different from that. Like,
it is.
Actually, explain aerial yoga because I don't know much about it.
So how do I explain aerial? So aerial, we use hammocks, and I think there's 2 different kinds of hammocks. Like I think for adult, there's like a point where the hammock is tied to the ceiling, and there's 2 edges of it on the ground, and so that one's harder because you have to like balance like one side of your body and one side, and then you have to like use a lot more strength. So kids aerial, or the kind that I currently teach, there's like 1 point, and then like it's tied in the middle, so it's like it's like a circle, and so the kids can sit in it and they can use it to like do multiple things. Like you can do dancer, as I was like with there are some poses you can do like with one leg on the floor, like you can use the hammock to like go deeper into a stretch. You can like lay in the hammock and that's relaxing, or you can do like, we do like this inverted lotus thing where your like legs are in lotus but you're upside down. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just things I like have to show.
I have no hammock, but you can pretend.
I can't do it. I need a hammock, but it's just really cool because a lot of the training for that, like a lot of kids and like a lot of adults too, it's like it's a sensory thing. So some kids, like it's scary to go upside down because they have fear of like falling. Yeah. But part of it too is just like knowing where they are in space, and that's like that's a difficult thing to understand when you add the element of the hammock. It's like, okay, I feel this fabric, but I'm like not on the ground. And it's like, I've definitely had to remind myself that because I have a lot of kids who are just like, yeah, I'm a badass and I can like go upside down. I can like pull myself up. And some kids like are not that strong yet. And then some kids just like don't understand the concept of, okay, this hammock is here and I need to put my hand here in order to be able to pull myself up. And like, it's just a different thing. And I have to remind myself, like, everyone is different in parts of like what they understand and what their body understands. Because even if they understand mentally, it's like it takes time for the body to understand that like balance is a thing and strength is a thing.
Well, kids a lot of times don't have like all that developed spatial awareness either.
Right.
So like what ages are we talking about that you usually do in this?
So I like 6 to 12-year-olds is what I teach, because they can like actually pull themselves up and stuff. I mean, there's definitely
newborns.
The little yoga house also offers like prenatal
yoga.
Yeah, there's this really cool. I just met her the other night at like our holiday party. She's like, really awesome. But she does prenatal yoga in a hammock, and then there's also like family yoga. Where like the parent and the kid. I don't teach those yet, and I'm like,
is that like an acro kind of thing?
It's not acro, because acro is just your body and using your body's strength, but the aerial has the hammock aspect.
Yeah. So
I guess there's some kind of acro because it's, you know, you're in the air still, but it's like different. It's different.
Huh. How did you like? So you found that obviously after you started Bikram. Like, what was the transition to that? It's a very different thing to go from like, I enjoy this for myself to I want to teach other people, and then like to I want to teach kids this. Like, that's
I mean, I've always enjoyed working with kids.
Yeah.
And like I knew that, and then when I moved to Austin, like I waited tables and I sang, so I kind of like lost.
Yeah. Like the passion side of that.
I mean, not the but it's just like I wasn't working with kids because I just wasn't. And then I was actually getting a massage at Massage Envy, and I was like in the waiting room. I was looking through like Awesome Fit magazine, and I found they had like this article last summer about like a bunch of like yoga studios in Austin. One of them was a little yoga house, and that's when I discovered that this kids yoga world existed.
Which looks super cool. Like, so I didn't know about it until you were talking about it the other day, actually. And then I saw some pictures. It's like all spray painted and crazy. And
it's so cool.
Is it all kids yoga? Is that pretty much what's there?
It's kids yoga and like it's based around children.
Stuff. Yeah. What a great idea.
but I found out that it existed, and then I think I like emailed them. I was like, "Can I work here? I just read about you, and like this is all my experience, and I practice and blah blah."
Yeah.
And I know that like, and then I took their training a few months later, but I wasn't sure if I'd be able to go because there was like a yoga competition. I have still yet to compete in a yoga competition, but it got like moved to January. Yeah, it got moved, and so I was able to go, and like, it was just real. I was part of the first group, like the first teacher training from Hula Yoga House. And they've had like 4 since then. But yeah, going to that and like realizing that there's all these like creative ways to make it for kids. Because I mean, a lot of it's using song, which is, you know, ingrained.
Oh, you use song?
Yeah, it's like we use, I don't know, like there's a song, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but we'll do like,
if you're allowed to say it,
because you know it's like from the
proprietary or something. Yeah.
But like to meditate and just to start, well,
like it's like a mantra kind of thing, like they're
kind of like at the end of a lot of classes, I mean, especially for little kids, we'll sing like, "There's a little light in me that shines to the light in you. Namaste, namaste," is what we say, and you just
that's
changing.
adorable.
Yeah, it is. I love it, and then the kids love it too because like they know the song. It's like this little light of mine, but it's geared towards more yogic expression. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put your kids in a yoga house someday, I'm assuming.
Well, we're gonna live in a yoga.
You're gonna live in a yoga house
because I'm gonna like have a studio,
a yoga tree house.
Hopefully, that's the plan as of now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. So you got into yoga, and that originally made you feel better about who you were, and then you decided to share that, and you found kids because that was a passion of yours. So music, what is it that drew you to music initially?
My mom put me in a lot of beauty pageants when I was little.
Like Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah, so I had like big curly hair. And
that's adorable.
Outfits. Yeah, and so I did that, and then I guess I mean, I don't really remember all of this because I was like really young.
Yeah.
But I really liked music, and like I wanted to learn how to dance, so like they put me in like tap and ballet and like all that stuff, and so I did that and then stopped, but like it's always just kind of like been
in the background.
Yeah, or it's like I don't know, I love music, like I'm always like it's just always in my head. Like if I'm not like focused on something, it's like, okay, there's a song in my head, and like I never get
No, I'm the same way. So I told somebody this the other day. I was like, I literally have music on like 24/7. I'm like, doesn't that get exhausting? No, like
it's like if you have enough songs, because it's not. I mean, sometimes, but I don't really see it as a problem. It's like you get that same song stuck in your head.
Yeah.
It's like I can use it. Like there's so many songs I've learned and that I know that like I can switch them out. Like I never get like that.
Change the record.
Like, God, why is this in my head?
Do you have like a spirit song, like one that just like grabs your soul? That's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite, but my karaoke go-to, because I feel like that's what you're asking, is it 3 non-blondes or 4 non-blondes?
Which one?
That so I cry sometimes when I'm laying in bed just to get it all out.
I think it's 3.
My head
it's such a great song.
That song.
What's going on?
Yeah, my go-to karaoke song is that.
That's a good one.
It is.
My go-to karaoke song, if I'm with somebody else and doing a duet. If it's a guy, I'll do tribute. Tenacious D's tribute. If it's a girl, I like to do Amy Lee and Seether, Broken.
What's that?
You remember Amy Lee and Seether, right?
I don't know.
I wanted you to know I love the way you laugh. Remember that song?
I don't.
What? Oh.
I probably do.
It's a good one.
I gotta know.
Oh, Amy Lee's Evanescence, if you remember Evanescence.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the lead singer from Evanescence. That's a good one. 4 non-blondes / 3 non-blondes / we can't remember what the title is. We're gonna have to rock it. Well, so
What's Up is the song
What's Up?
title.
That's you're right. So we found out earlier we're gonna have to go do karaoke together. So
yes!
Apparently none of my friends do it, and yours are all cooler than mine.
Yeah. I mean, service industry and cover bands. That's how we bond.
That's the equivalence. Yeah, obviously cool. That's the category.
And then I just went to like the holiday party for the Little House.
Oh wow! But that was fun.
Yeah, we rented a karaoke room at the Highball. So like the most fun thing ever. And it's like I hadn't met half of them.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to be like, it's a very like particular personality it takes to be a kids yoga teacher. So I'm just surrounded by all this awesome energy.
Awesome people. To be a yoga teacher in general. Like,
yeah.
It's the coolest people that I know. Like most of my friends right now are in yoga. So like, if you think about this, so you think about who you are right now, a yogi / singer / makeup consultant / wild person wearing reindeer antlers. What do you think more than anything else inspires you right now? Like what makes you excited about life?
What makes me excited?
Yeah, because it's a super diverse like set of things to do. What do you think it is if you had to pick one thing that you like about all those things that inspires you more than other? Is it just like being able to teach? Is it expressing yourself? What is it that gets you excited about these things?
I guess it's the one thing.
You can only get one. You can't do two.
I guess it's like the awareness it takes to do them. Like there's definitely an awareness that goes into singing, and again like posture and like being aware of like how you breathe, where you breathe from, and then yoga like is all like self-awareness, I think. But then also teaching, it's like you really have to like be aware of yourself to be able to like teach someone else how to do something. Because if you tell someone how to do something and you don't know, or like if you don't feel that, it's like I always have to like draw from my own experience to be able to tell someone else like how to do something. Like, okay, so when you're doing this high note, like you have to make sure that you breathe into your diaphragm from here, and like it's right. It's like I have to like be really specific, and so, but I can only be that specific because I know how it feels in my body. And granted, that's different. Like not everything works the same for everyone, but like being able to draw upon like how I know I do something helps me explain it to other people / kids. Yeah,
that's interesting. Do you think that your desire to teach those things was more of like oh my God, I discovered this myself and it made me feel so good and I want to share it now? Or was it more like you feel like an obligation to do it? Or where do you think a lot of that came from?
I think it's that like
being
like
excited
to feel
about
good,
it.
and like I'm excited and it's also like it takes away the need for like other distractions and things, or like like I don't know, it's like a natural way to feel good. Like
so the other things like you would do to feel good, you do them and you're eventually like, oh, this kind of sucks, or like this is empty, but like that mindfulness and that presence.
I mean with yoga and music, like they're both things that have always like just, I don't know, there's some sort of mental thing that happens when I do them. And I think when a lot of people do them, where you're just like, I feel so much better now that I've like done this. Like now that I've like stretched my shoulder because my shoulder like didn't feel good, or now that I've like, there's like some
and you like you said earlier, like you don't even notice it beforehand. You're like, oh wow, I felt like shit and I didn't even know that. Yeah. No, it's so true. That's definitely was my experience. Like if you're not used to doing some sort of mindfulness practice, the first couple times you get into it, you're like, holy shit. Like there's so much going on with me. And we don't like, it's scary to think about our bodies and scary to think about our minds.
And not everyone does it.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It is. Like, I think I was at like a dinner. I was telling someone this. I was at like a friend's like birthday dinner like a month ago. And, you know, I like didn't really know anyone, but I knew her because it was her birthday. And so I was like meeting these people. Like, oh, so what do you do? I was like, well, I teach yoga to kids. And someone was just like, why would you put your kids into yoga class? And I was like, why wouldn't you? Like, doesn't that just sound like the coolest thing? Like, how do you not see that that's like a really cool thing
to do? Like, it's so shitty too, because like, so little of our culture is like aligned with understanding yourself. Like it's all like, here's a role, you should do it, figure it out, whatever. Like who cares if it's right for you? Like who cares if you're happy? And I love that, at least it seems like over the last couple of years, we're starting to move more towards like a culture of understanding you, understanding your interests, your talents, your abilities, or just like what it means to be a person. Right. And I love that. Like I love that that's something we're moving towards. You love it too, obviously, because you teach people that stuff. Looking back at like how you got to where you are now, because it's obviously like been a journey, because you're in like 5 billion different random things. What do you think is the most important lesson that you've learned along the way, like from all of that?
The most important lesson, the
singular
most important.
You can give me more than
lesson.
one. I don't care.
I mean, I don't know if it's just, I mean, I think like what I said already, just like if you have the desire to leave something, if something feels heavy, like let it
go.
I think it's definitely that, because, and I mean, I saw it, like make space for things, make space for what's not heavy, make space for the light. I feel like I was going to elaborate on that, but I don't know how now.
No, I like that though, because it's not, there's so much focus in our culture on like finding the right thing for you, like finding the one thing. And like you said, it's always in flux, right? Like your body's changing, your mind's changing, your interests change over time. And like, unless you're willing to pay attention to that and think and like let go of what's not working to add in what's new, you're never really going to be happy, because you'll get stuck in something, you'll be committed to it. You know, like let's say, for example, like waiting, right? Like you were waiting tables to make money. And if you kept doing that and exclusively that, you probably would have been miserable.
Right.
So you have to be able to like pay attention. No, I like that. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
So let go of the heavy, pay attention, focus, learn. What are you learning most right now?
I guess my thing would kind of go along those lines. Took the reindeer off. But like again, Kyle sees, he talks about that too. Oh, there's so many things he talks about. But
I have to check him out.
You should.
Kyle, how do you spell his name?
Kyle, K-I-L-E, K-Y-L-E.
K-Y-L-E.
C-E-A-S-E. But just like, I mean, some of us do like victimize ourselves, and maybe like some of us do it sometimes, not all the time. There are people who do it like way more than others. But like, I don't know, some like I do all this cool stuff, but I like still get sad sometimes.
Yeah.
All this thing, like for example,
you can't always be Rotel and tomatoes.
No, I'm not always a hot tomato. Damn it. But there was this party that happened last week where the guy who like hired all the musicians for the cover, like the track band. So I like sang with a lot of, especially since I left, I like subbed with like all of them. So it's just like this party that happened in Dallas, because that's where he lives, and it was at like one of the venues that like we all would regularly play at, and it was just like a holiday party for like all of the musicians, and I like wanted to go, but I had to wait tables the next morning at 7:30, and it was like there was no way I could have done it and have been sane. And like I was okay with that, and then I like saw all these pictures from it. I was like, God, fear of missing out. That stupid FOMO thing.
I didn't know what that was for forever.
I was like so sad. I was like, oh, my friends were there. This is like the only time that they're all gonna be at this place together, like doing all this cool stuff. And I was like so bummed. Like it was like I've never regretted not going to a party more than that. And just like, and like knowing or telling myself it was such a stupid thing to be sad about, but I was like really genuinely sad that I hadn't been able to be there. And then just like allowing that feeling, like not just like being aware that like I knew it was temporary, like a temporary feeling, and like like that probably is not going to happen again, at least for a while, if it ever does again. But like knowing that I had done the right thing for myself by not going, because like it wouldn't have been healthy for me to go and do that and then like drive back and like do the thing in the morning. But just like, again, being in the self-awareness, like sometimes you feel sad and you just have to allow that sadness and to feel the things and just recognize that it's not you, like you, Ben, or me, Crystal, like you're not just sad. And I'm trying to explain this well, but it's like sadness is just a feeling that's passing through you, and like being aware of that and allowing it and just like loving it. Like I feel sad and I love that. Like
not judging it.
Not judging it, just allowing it to go through and not numbing it. Like, you know, it definitely would have been easy to be like, I'm sad, I'm gonna go drink like half a bottle of whiskey and then just like still feel sad tomorrow. But just like,
and hungover.
I was just so bummed out about not being able to go, and then I just had to kind of sit with like, why am I sad about this? Like I see that it's like it's not the worst thing ever to not have gone to this party, and it's not like my life wouldn't have been dramatically different. Like I would have had a lot of fun, yes, and that's why I know that I'm sad. But just like feeling it and like not like recognizing that like I was sad enough where I like didn't want to numb it because I knew if I did, like, it would just be an ongoing
Stay there
thing.
forever.
Yeah. And so like, just self-awareness and like allowing things to travel like through me.
It's so hard to do. Like, I feel
it can be.
And our culture totally doesn't set us up to be good at that either. Like, emotions, what are those? Just go back to work, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. But I love that we're moving towards that. Like, I feel like society as a whole is starting to focus so much more on consciousness and like being present with yourself and being whole and like physically fit and all that kind of stuff in a way that we haven't before. So if you had to pick one of those things, right? Because you've obviously learned a lot in your journeys as a world traveler and a rotel and a yogi aerial flying through the air instructor and all that kind of stuff. But if you had to pick one lesson that you could teach the world, okay? So if you had one thing that you've come to understand through this journey that you could share with other people and have them understand, what do you think it would be?
I guess, okay, the first thing that comes to mind, which I hear is the thing you're supposed to say, like, just be okay with yourself, like, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, like, listen to that and just feel what you feel when you're doing the things. So, I don't know, whatever job you have, whatever you're learning, just, like, notice how you feel while you're doing it. And then listen to that because like there's a lot of us who like do a job because it pays a lot of money and that's cool, but it's like, are you happy doing that?
Yeah. So learn how to notice what you're feeling.
Yes.
Right? Pay attention to it like on a regular basis, and then learn how to react positively and like and effectively to what you're feeling.
Yes.
To make your decisions. No, I love that. That's awesome. Is there anything that you found particularly helpful in doing that you would want people to see or know about? Or we have Kyle Cease.
Yes.
Anything else? Do more yoga.
I mean, I definitely go to yoga.
Everybody do yoga.
Not enough people do that, and I think it's important. Like, I guess how to do that. I don't, even if you can't do yoga, just like, I don't know. I'm weird because I like don't really like the sit still meditation. Yeah. Like I like yoga.
Can't imagine. That's so surprising to me.
It's hard for me to sit still and just like be with things. But it's like when I'm going through like vinyasas and whatnot, it's like I think about things, you know. And so like I think like moving and like feeling like tension and like where tension in my body is like allows me to process things. And I think it's different. Like I do think it's important. Some people are really good and like are able to sit still and think about like, okay, this thing like isn't working for me or this and blah, 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 blah. But find something that works for you and do it. Like, don't just do it once. Cause I think that's part of like what it's like. I started doing yoga and I felt good. So I kept doing it. And there's so many people. And
that's so like, simple though. Like that's so simple.
It is,
people just don't do that.
Not. People just like will find like they sign up to go to a gym. And like I have a gym membership. And that's cool. So I'm done now. But it's like then they don't go to the gym. They just have the membership. It's like you have to keep doing the work.
Repetition. Yeah.
You know, and it's like I think and there's definitely been times in my life where it's like, you know, I'll go through like this like period of transformation. Then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then it's like then I stop being self-aware. And then something will happen where I have to be like, I wasn't being honest with myself or with this person. So I have to really like pay attention to that now. And I have to like, then I have to start doing the work over. And so just like, I don't know, just be fucking self-aware, people. I
don't know. So that's good to like establish a practice of doing that.
And then just keep doing it. Cause I think that's what's important.
Love it.
Yeah.
Anything you're working on right now that you want people to know about? Something you're excited about?
I started an original band with some.
Did you really?
I did.
Nice.
So it's a recent kind of undercover development, but it's going to be like funk.
Undercover development.
And I mean, we haven't like really
coming to a living room near you kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Probably like to 6th Street soon, maybe.
Hey, cool.
But we're working on like original songs, and that's something that I kind of shared earlier. Like, I didn't. That part of my story was just I didn't do that because it like got shot down before the band I was in, and like I'm with this group of people now who's just like, okay, we're gonna write some music, and if you come up with a melody or with words, cool, and if we don't like it, like we'll tell you, or we'll like make it better. And it's like, it's just been this really cool like transformation. I'm like, okay, I didn't see myself doing that, and I've started to, and it wasn't as scary as I thought, because for so long I was just like, I don't write originals because I'm so like in my head about my own work, which I think a lot of people
overanalyze it.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's coming soon, probably early 2017.
You seem like you probably have like 30 things going on most of the time.
Yeah.
It's a good way to be.
I sleep, sometimes I don't.
Well, you said you don't sleep very much.
I'm not
so
a sleeper.
you don't have to.
It's not in my genes. I told you my parents don't really sleep much, so.
So how can people find you online if they want to learn more about what you're doing or follow your antics and adventures? Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
So it's, well, my username is it's_Crystal with 5 A's. So ITS_CRYSTAAAAL.
I'll link to it in the video description in case anybody's A key is broken.
Yeah, and then you can also like Google or Facebook, Rotel and the Hot Tomatoes. That's a thing. I had like an Arbonne consultant Facebook site, and then my boyfriend was like, why don't you just be entrepreneurial about it and like have all the things you do on one page?
It's a good boyfriend. Built your brand.
He's awesome. And like he actually made like a video, he like filmed me like kind of teaching like a yoga class, and he like made music to it, and he edited this video. Was that
the one that you had on like the Yoga on the Rocks thing?
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was his idea. I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna do something, and then
keep doing stuff like
that.
It
was just totally spontaneous. Yeah, he's like one of the reasons I'm like so open and able to like, I guess, transform in my current state of transformation. I don't know.
Your cocoon phase.
Yeah. He's my cocoon. It's weird. It sounds weird.
We won't tell him he's a cocoon.
You should follow him too, because he's also like in the Bobby Noble. He's amazing. And he's got an amazing voice. Like I met him because I filled in with his. He worked for the same cover band company, and like filled in one show. He lives in Dallas. I live in Austin. We met in Houston, and it's just like we were both so like, this is a silly show. Let's be silly and like open and like free, and like we were just like. There was swordfish hanging from the ceiling, so every song was just like swordfish popping. Like we just like would change the song. It was really fun. He's amazing, and it's just like so organic. It was just like, I see this opportunity to make this more fun or like more creative. Like let's do that. So he's been just a really awesome space to have in my life to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool, because I imagine it takes quite a bit for somebody to be able to pace with your energy. So
yeah,
to meet over swordfish
when
and a
you
cover
meet
band.
him, because I'm sure you will, because he frequents Austin now that we're dating. Like you'll meet him and be like, this makes a lot of sense. Like I get it.
Well, awesome, cool. Now, I would love to. Maybe we'll get him to come on the show, and you guys can do partner yoga.
We would love that.
Yeah, you guys. We can do partner. You know what we should totally do? We should totally see if Little Yoga House will let us do an episode there, and you can do poses and then talk about like what you learned from them and like what they mean. And
I would love to do that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
it seems like it'd be right up your alley. Cool. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Crystal's doing a pose right now, if you can see it. Her foot, I can't get my foot up anywhere near that high. I'm going to go before I kill myself. Before I rip my leg off. But thanks for jumping on. It was awesome. We'll definitely have you on again.
Thank you. This was
it's fun.
And thanks
everybody for listening. We love you. We're wearing antlers and hats, and we're going to go eat caramel corn.